You're settling into a quiet evening outdoors when you hear it. That high-frequency, unmistakable buzzing sound. Mosquitoes are highly specialized hunters. Their first tracking tool is carbon dioxide. They are sensitive enough to detect the air we exhale from far away. As they get closer, they lock on to a second cue, the specific chemical compounds we release through our sweat. Finally, they use heat to find the exact landing spot, noticing even a slight rise in your body temperature to pick their target. This hunt is carried out exclusively by females. They aren't looking for a meal for themselves. They require the concentrated protein in human blood to develop their eggs. After taking a single blood meal, a female can lay roughly 200 eggs on the surface of a nearby pool of water. For us, the immediate result is an itchy red bump, a mild allergic reaction to the insect's saliva. That minor reaction is the entry point for pathogens that take over 1 million lives every year. To see how a bug this small could destabilize civilizations, we have to look at the empires it helped destroy. History books often attribute the fall of the Western Roman Empire to military invasions, economic instability, and internal corruption. However, historian Timothy Weingard points to a different predator. By spreading deadly diseases like malaria and yellow fever, mosquitoes kill more people annually than sharks, lions, and bears combined. Ancient Rome's massive wetland perimeter was an ideal breeding ground for mosquitoes and a permanent hotspot for malaria. Initially, this biological shield repelled invading armies, but eventually the insects turned inward. Malaria spread into the heart of the capital, crushing the population. This environmental defense system became an internal plague, accelerating the decline of Rome from the inside out. Pathogens disrupted another national strategy in 1698. Scotland, facing a severe food crisis, placed its economic hopes on an ambitious plan to establish a major trading center in Panama. 1,200 Scottish settlers arrived in the Darien region of Panama, only to find themselves in an environment dominated by diseases they had never encountered. Because they had lived in a different climate, their immune systems had no defenses against the local variants of yellow fever and malaria. The impact was rapid. Within just 6 months, nearly half the settlers were dead, and the survivors were forced to flee back to their ships. In the end, a microscopic insect had completely dismantled an entire nation's grand colonial aspirations in a single season. For thousands of years, as entire civilizations were reshaped by these diseases, human beings lived and died without ever understanding how they were spreading. It was not until the end of the 19th century that researchers finally identified the mosquito as the vector. Before this, people blamed curses or bad air for the sickness. We spent millennia being steered by an insect we perceived as a minor annoyance, unaware of its role in our survival. We tend to focus on kings and economies as the drivers of history, but the story of the mosquito shows that human civilization has always been tethered to the patterns of the natural world.